Because there's been such a tremendous turnout that there's a parking situation going on in the parking lot. So we're just trying to get people situated into other parking spaces out of this lot and have them join us. And then we'll begin in a couple minutes, about 7:15. But meanwhile, I can share with you just some sort of housekeeping details, so to speak. There won't be a break in tonight's ceremony. It's expected to run 90 minutes, possibly as long as 2 hours. So if you need to use the restroom, those restrooms are open, they're outdoors, and you would just go through this door or that door, and you go straight back, and the doors are to your left side, on the right side of the building. So just let yourself out to use the restroom if that need should arise. And I'll wait to do the introduction of Jenny and a little bit about the event until we've got some other people here from the parking lot.
Nancy, we do have an intermission now.
Oh, you do? Yeah. So, as I've been saying, this program has been evolving over time. And so now apparently there will be an intermission. And when will that be, Jenny?
That will be after the ceremony.
That will be any time during the ceremony. After the ceremony. Okay.
Before the concert.
Before the concert.
Okay. Okay. So now you know. That's what we all do. Is there anything else?
Talk amongst yourselves.
Why don't you go ahead and introduce Jenny?
Okay,
We're
fantastic.
ready to begin.
Okay, fantastic. All right, so as you may have noticed, I was speaking with this white-haired woman over here. This is Jenny Landfeld, and she's the one who put together this ceremony for this evening and brought together a host of musicians and crystal ball players, and I know it's going to be a fantastic event. She is, and her biographical information is that she's a poet and a producer. She's a singer-songwriter, a mystic, a life coach, a business consultant, and also an interfaith explorer who's been creating classes, workshops, and events in creativity and consciousness for over 40 years. She currently does have a class going on here at Unity as well on Tuesday evenings through the end of February, and those are drop-in classes, and I think most of you saw those flyers about that class out on the table here in the foyer. So with no further ado, I'll introduce Jenny.
Good evening, everybody. So I actually gave Nancy something when she asked for a biography. I asked her to say that I am everything and I am nothing. But she didn't think that was a great way to start the night, so we gave you a little more detail. So welcome, welcome, welcome. We're so happy that you've all come. And I wanted to let you know that also this is being live streamed, and there are people joining us in this ceremony. This is a virtual ceremony. There are people in Vienna. Hi, Ursi. There are people in Japan. There are people in Chicago and in New York and in Atlanta, and I don't know where else because it's sort of been flying around. So this isn't where? Somebody in Canada, yeah. So it's an interesting thing, isn't it? And a friend of mine sent me a little article that was saying that we are entering a time because of all this technology. Hi, everybody. Because of all this technology, we are able to now move into more image-based gatherings and less a lot of writing. Because actually, when the written word came in, apparently this is sort of when sort of the more masculine, sort of aggressive things started happening on our planet. So with technology is actually bringing back the story, bringing back the image, bringing back the connection beyond the written word. So isn't that fun that we can see technology in a really, really different way? So we're having a ceremony. We're having an international ceremony tonight. And we're having a ceremony that acknowledges who we really are. Who we really are. Who are we really? Does anybody have anything to say to that? That's the right answer. Nothing. So the point is that really we have been kind of programmed a little bit to be more or less, we're going to make things happen, we're going to create things in this world. I know how to manifest this kind of attitude, and in fact, there's a way of living that we're being invited into that's more or less grace-driven, that's not quite so mind-driven, that's more heart-driven. And that's why we call tonight Full Moon, Full Heart. So, and heart is where story comes from, and heart is where friendship comes from, and heart is where community comes from. And I would like to invite us now to in older ceremonies, people would be in a circle, right? I'm going to try to create a circle here and there. Create a circle. And so there's a couple things that we can do. We can use sound, right? We can use sound to connect with one another. Even though we're not in a circle and looking at each other, we can use sound and connect our vibration together. So we're just going to start tonight with just a little chant, okay? And it's a chant that's really about world peace, okay? It's a Buddhist chant, and I think we can put the words up, Larry. And it's a very, very simple chant. And when we chant it together, let's just, even people over there, across the seas, and so really everybody kind of turn around and let's wave to, our friends across the world. Yeah, we're in one big giant circle here, so pretty interesting, isn't it? Yeah. So this particular chant, when we chant this, let's just really know that this chant is about bringing up your Buddha nature, opening up your Buddha nature. We could also call that the Christ nature, okay? So that's what we're doing when we're chanting. We're just activating that which in us, hello,
Hi.
how are you? Which is who we really are, that aspect of who we really actually are. So you're just getting quiet, and we're just going to let that vibration just kind of fill and connect us together. Is that okay with you? Yeah? Everybody okay there? So let's just try it. These are really simple words. And as you say them, just opening up your heart to world peace that starts from within ourselves. Starts within ourselves. Okay? So you can see the words. So it's Nam, Myoho, Renge, Kyo. Nam Myoho, Renge Kyo. Right, you guys got it. So let's start. Ready? Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Now let's sing it a little bit. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. 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 Feel it in your heart. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. 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 Let's get some harmony going. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. 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 So the room feels a little different, doesn't it? Feels a little different. We all feel a little different when we activate our enlightened being, our creative capacity to be that infinite, invisible source that we are. So there's lots of tools to do this, aren't there? Lots and lots and lots of tools all over the world. Many, many different cultures, many different ways that we can activate what Unity would say is the Christ within us. The Christ within us is that Buddha nature. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. So I was just wondering, I know that we started out kind of like, okay, sort of a little somber, but I wonder if you guys would be open to just a little bit of laughter. Are you sure? I don't know. Are you really open to laughter? Really? I'm starting to believe you. I mean, really? I mean, yeah, you like laughter? I don't know. You know what strikes me as really funny? Nothing! I mean, really, nothing. I mean, when you think about nothing. Oh, God. Really, nothing. Oh, God. Oh, God. Really.
Jenny, Jenny, Jenny. I think it's time to talk about sacred things like the blue moon.
Oh.
I think that's why we're all here.
Is that why you guys are here? Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that why you're here?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Do you guys want to talk about the moon? Oh, okay. But sacredness first?
It's a must.
A must. Sacredness is a must. That sounds like a chant. Sacredness is a must. 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 Now we got to dance. Sacredness is a must. Sacredness is a must. One more chant. There's a little kid on the YouTube, who's chanting yum. Would you like to chant yum?
Yeah.
Just for a second. Here we go. Well, that was yummy. Wow. Okay. So, one of the most beautiful things about coming together in ceremony is that we get to really kind of relax, right? Step back from the busyness of our lives and kind of get quiet, kind of remember who we really are outside of all the busyness and all the identities and all of the I am this and I am that. And just allowing ourselves to just be and just be together in a place of love and kindness, community, possibility. Yeah. Who am I really? Who am I really?
Tell me more.
There's nothing to tell, because there really is nobody here. In the truth of it, we have lots of identities that flow and flow and flow through our lives. But the truth is that deep down inside of us, there's something called the Atman. This is from the Upanishads, which is one of the oldest, this is the oldest written teaching on the planet. There are two selves, the separate ego and the invisible Atman. When one rises above I and me and mine, the Atman is revealed as one's real self. When all the desires that surge in the heart are renounced, the mortal becomes immortal. When all the knots that strangle the heart are loosened, the mortal becomes immortal. From the heart there radiates 101 beautiful tracks of energy coming out of the crown. This leads to immortality. Draw near. Know thyself to be pure and immortal. Know thyself to be pure and immortal. So we had a full moon, and a blue moon, and a super moon, and a red moon. But it was really actually a gold moon, wasn't it? You saw it, it was gold. Yeah. So I went out and I got there when the eclipse had already happened. So I got there and the light was already, gone. So I didn't have to watch the light go away, which was really kind of fun. And there was this big golden moon, and then I watched as it came back. So it's been quite a wonderful experience. And Alexandra had her own realizations about what this moon was and has been. Would you like to share that?
Numerology, it is 1111. It is as above, so below. It is when the veil is at its thinnest. So we connect with spirit quite easily, and spirit connects with us. Astrologically, it brings in the frequency of Leo. Leo, strength and compassion. To end something that must end, or to begin the begin.
Thank you. Mr. Shin has another idea about it. Yeah, thank you so much.
Just some observations about how wonderfully last night brought together the forces of light and the forces of darkness. And it's a marriage of these forces that really creates balance in our life. We grow from the times of darkness, and we shine from the light that runs through us. And so those of you who may have been out during the early morning hours, as I was, saw this incredibly bright light of the super moon, super bright, just almost like daylight out there, casting beautiful shadows everywhere. And the light was just illuminating everything so brightly that you felt filled with this amazing power and amazing light of source coming through you. And then gradually the shadow came across, a little bit at a time, and over the course of an hour, moved across the face of the moon until there was just a little tiny sliver of light left. And what had once been bright seemed to be completely dark, except for that little tiny sliver of light that was showing up at the edge that seemed to hang longer and longer and longer until finally it was gone too. But as the brightness disappeared, this beautiful color appeared on the moon. And it was golden and orange. And even though the light had been snuffed out, it appeared, no way had the light been snuffed out. That in the darkness, this beauty appeared that wasn't there before in the sun, in the reflected sunlight of the moon. And so you could sit there, as I sat there, and see the balance between the darkness and the light, and take in the beauty of both, the beauty of the light and the beauty of the darkness, and how we must go through those times in order to transform ourselves. And then, after about an hour, almost an hour and a half of that dark, orange, glowing globe in the sky, finally the light appeared on the edge again and grew larger and larger and larger until as the moon set, we had a crescent moon again, shining. So I welcome you to look at your own lives this way and see the balance of light and darkness, and how in the darkness sometimes the gold appears. So that's what I was guided to share with you, and I hope you enjoyed the experience of the eclipse, whether you were sleeping or watching it.
Thank you, Johnny. Why don't you stay up here, Johnny? And I'm going to invite up Shala and Ron, who do many, many wonderful sound healings in this area. And they're going to be joining us for the ceremony. And what I wanted to share with you was that when I saw the crescent that John was talking about, I noticed, I was just so happy to see a crescent moon. Out of a full moon, all of a sudden there's a crescent moon. It was just miraculous. And it reminded me of a time when I was, another crescent moon, another time, when I was sitting on a Mayan ruin at Isla Mujeres, and you sit on one side and you're looking out at the sun, and the sun is setting, and the moon is rising behind you, but you're not aware of that. And so I was just watching the sunset, and then I turned around, and there was this crescent moon in the sky. So this song sort of came forward in that moment. There's a sliver in the sky of moon. She sublimely caught my eye and tune. She's a tiny little lantern as the blue skies turn to black. She accompanies me back home to you. Crescent moon, crescent moon, crescent moon. I felt that the moon, this full moon, has been a matchmaker because it's brought all of us together. All of us from around the world together. So we're talking about the heart tonight. Hi, Judy. Somebody I haven't seen in 20 years. So we're going to talk about the heart, and we're going to do just a breath, a simple breath of breathing together. Okay. And it's very, very simple breath, and you'll see that it's up on the screen if you want to take a look at it. What you're going to do is to open up and activate your connection to your heart and to quiet the mind even more. So we're going to inhale deeply through your nose and just take a nice deep breath. I quiet my mind. Now retain the breath as long as you possibly can. You're retaining it because you're giving your heart an actual hug with your lungs, and you're just giving yourself more and more connection. Just feel the energy of your heart, and then gently, slowly release through your mouth. I rest in the peace of my being. So we're going to do this a few more times, breathing deeply through your nose. I quiet my mind, hold the breath. I feel the energy of my heart. Just focus on your heart's energy. Release through the mouth slowly. I rest in the peace of my being. Just rest there for a moment. One breath can change everything. One breath can take you out of confusion, out of your mind, bring you right to your heart. One more time, breathing in deeply through the nose. I quiet my mind, holding the breath. I feel the energy of my heart. Put your hands on your heart and feel that energy. Release through the mouth. I rest in the peace of my being. We could just stay here forever, couldn't we? Why don't we just live here? Why don't we just live here? That's all the world needs is our peace. Our peace. So Alexandra is going to open the 4 directions. Just stay where you are. Stay in your peace. Stay in your peace. Stay in your peace. We'll open the 4 directions in the Native American ceremony.
Breathing into your heart, gently closing your eyes. Imagine a white eagle flying in the north. North Mount Shasta, flying, bringing perception, bringing clarity, bringing vision. In our mind's eye, we face the east and we imagine a white jaguar bringing in protection, bringing comfort and peace. In our mind's eye, we now see a white snake bringing the vibration of love, surrounding us in gentleness and kindness. And in our imagination, we face the west, the Pacific, and we see a white hummingbird bringing harmony, wisdom, compassion.
I was initiated and taught a ceremony 10 years ago on a moonlit night in an ancient city at the top of the world, where the air is very thin and the pressures and illusions of the modern world are left behind. Machu Picchu is high in the Andes Mountains. 33 people from all over the world gathered in the open grass courtyard with an elder Incan shaman. It was midnight, the moon was full, a fire was blazing. The scent of copal and sage filled the air. The shaman was Ebers, my mentor and my friend. He invited everyone to lie down on blankets in a circle on the grass, and he asked me to play my Native American flute. With crystal bowls, flutes, and gongs, he invited us to expand our consciousness, to go deep within, and receive the energy and the great love of Pachamama, our Earth Mother, and Pachapapa, Father Sky. With some of the very same instruments that were used that night, we'll be performing this beautiful sound ceremony. After the ceremony, We'll rest in silence for a few minutes. The piano will conclude the ceremony. We ask that you have this intermission in silence, in your heart. So relax and receive love and healing from unseen realms. Yourself. Into that place of deep peace. break. Please stay in the silence. You can look into one another's eyes and recognize each other. When you come back, we have a beautiful series of songs, beautiful harmony, a beautiful celebration of the us and the we that we've created here together, all over the world. What else is possible, I wonder? And we will play the gong, and you'll know it's time to come back. You're welcome to just sit in stillness or go out into the moonlight.
have another sort of housekeeping matter to bring up. Is anybody in here parked in a silver Elantra car in the parking lot? The license plate is 7UMT722. I see fingers pointing. Is that you, friend? You're blocking a car and they're trying to leave. So you could move that. We'd appreciate that. Thank you.
Music everywhere. Coming out of the woodwork here. Well, welcome back. Did you have fun? Was that really beautiful? Did you go to a really deep, 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 deep place of peace and stillness? Could we live there all the time? We sure could, yeah. And there is where we discover everything that we are, right? From the stillness. You know, the whole, how many people were in the 60s? Yeah? Oh, okay. Sisters, brothers. You know, so we talked a lot about world peace, right? And there's a lot of outward creating of world peace, trying and efforting. And so it's really so true, isn't it, that it's the peace within each of us that's going to create it. But it's a peace that in the language of Jesus is the peace that passeth all, I can't say that, passeth, the peace that passeth all understanding. Peace that beyond any peace that we could ever dream possible. And so what I've been discovering about cultivating peace as my most precious possession, that there's nothing more precious than that peace. From that peace, I can listen, I can receive, I can rest and relax and respond. It's a different energy. And I've really been discovering that I actually, there's some people that aren't going to like me saying this, but I don't have to plan anything. I see Kristen going, okay, hold on. But it's really true. I mean, it gets to a point where a friend of mine was telling me that it's only like, if you can really realize that if you only really know what maybe the next 10 seconds ahead of you, then you're really going to activate that immense possibility for life that is here for us. So I just wanted to invite us to see a video that my dear friend Starlight, I know you're watching me, at us, all of us. And it was instrumental in this whole thing coming together. And Mama, hi. Gotta say hi to my mom, right? I love you, Mommy. I will always love you, Mommy. That was fun. And all my friends from across the world, mwah, mwah, mwah. Can we all kiss each other? Mwah, mwah, mwah. So all of these, yes. So I need a little drum. Okay. This is just kind of a fun thing to do. It's to, we're going to chant, "We Are One." But I'm going to simulate, if you will, a heartbeat that we're going to chant it to. Okay? So here's the heartbeat to the best of my abilities. We are one. 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 Let your heart continue to echo that. Every heartbeat. So as I was saying, my friend Starlight passed to me a video today, and she said, "This has to be in this." And I so agree. So I think we're going to just watch this. Okay.
I am not black. I mean, that's what the world calls me, but it's not me.
I am not black.
I didn't come out of my mother's womb saying, "Hey everybody, I'm black." No, I was taught to be black. And you were taught to call me that, along with whatever you call yourself. It's just a label. See, from birth, the world force feeds us these labels. And eventually, we all swallow them. We digest and accept the labels, never, ever doubting them. But there's one problem. Labels are not you, and labels are not me. Labels are just labels. But who we truly are is not skin deep. See, when I drive my car, no one would ever confuse the car for me. Well, when I drive my body, why do you confuse me for my body? It's my body. Get it? Not me. Let me break it down. See, our bodies are just cars that we operate and drive around. The dealership we call society decided to label mine the black edition, yours the Irish or white edition. And with no money down, 0% APR, and no test drive, we were forced to own these cars for the rest of our lives. Forgive me, but I fail to see the logic or pride in defining myself or judging another by the cars we drive. Because who we truly are is found inside. Listen, I'm not here to tell you how science has concluded that genetically all mixed, and race in the human species doesn't exist, or how every historian knows that race was invented in the 15th century to divide people from each other, and it has worked perfectly. No, I'm not here to lecture. I just want to ask one question. Who would you be if the world never gave you a label? Never gave you a box to check? Would you be white, black, Mexican, Asian, Native American, Middle Eastern, Indian? No. We would be one. We would be together. No longer living in the era of calling human beings black people or white people. These labels that will forever blind us from seeing a person for who they are, but instead seeing them through the judgmental, prejudicial, artificial filters of who we think they are. And when you let an artificial label define yourself, then my friend, you have chosen smallness over greatness and minimized yourself, confined and divided yourself from others. And it is an undeniable fact that where there is division, there will be conflict, and conflict starts wars. Therefore, every war is started over labels. It's always us versus them. So the answer to war, racism, sexism, and every other ism is so simple that every politician has listed. It's the labels. We must rip them off. Isn't it funny how no baby is born racist, yet every baby cries when they hear the cries of another? No matter the gender, culture, or color, but deep down we were meant to connect and care for each other. That is our mission, and that is not my opinion. That is the truth in a world that has sold us fiction. Please listen, labels only distort our vision, which is why half of those watching this will dismiss it or feel resistance and conflicted. But just remember, so did the caterpillar. Before it broke the witch shell and became the magnificent butterfly. Well, these labels are our shells, and we must do the same thing so we can finally spread our wings. Human beings were not meant to be slapped with labels like groceries and supermarkets. DNA cannot be regulated by the FDA. We were meant to be free, and only until we remove them all and stop living and thinking so small will we be free to see ourselves and each other for who we truly are.
Yeah. So we are opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the One. We are one.
Luminous
You're beautiful. Thank you.
Well, I think it's time to celebrate the moon being here. And what better thing to do than to face that beautiful, bright moon and enjoy it, face it, and feel it shining on you. And this song is a little bit about that. Well, I'm being followed by a moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow. Yes, I'm being followed by a moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow. And if I ever lose my hands, lose my plow, lose my land, yes, if I ever lose my hands, oh, if I won't have to work no more. And if I ever lose my eyes, if my colors all run dry, if I ever lose my eyes away, I won't have to cry no more. 'Cause I'm being followed by a moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow. I'm leaping and hopping on a moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow. And if I ever lose my legs, no, I won't moan, no, I won't beg. If I ever lose my legs, away, I won't have to walk no more. And if I ever lose my mouth, or my teeth, north and south, if I ever lose my mouth, away, if I won't have to talk. Oh, did it take long to find me? I ask the faithful eye. Oh, did it take long to find me? And are you gonna stay the night? I'm being followed by a moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow. I'm leaping and hopping on a moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow. Woohoo! Something else for us?
You know, it wasn't just a shadow with that moon.
You saw me standing alone, without a dream in my heart, without a love of my own. could care for.
And then there's suddenly a view for me, the only one my heart will ever hold. I heard the Spirit whisper, please adore me.
And when I looked, the moon had turned to gold. Blue moon, come on.
Now I
No longer alone. I have a dream in my heart. I have a love of my own.
Okay, three-part harmony.
Come on, let's go. Ready? Here we go. Blue moon, you saw me standing alone, without a dream in my heart, without a love of my own. Blue moon, you knew just what I was there for. You heard me saying a prayer for someone I really could care for. Now we get to
And then there's suddenly a view for me, the only one my heart will ever hold. I heard the Spirit whisper, please adore me.
and when I looked, the moon had turned to gold. Now I'm no longer alone. I have a dream in my heart. I have a love of my own. I have a love of my own. Good job, everybody.
How about that? Woohoo! Isn't that delicious? Boy, oh boy. Yum. Yum. So I had promised Marilyn. Where's Marilyn? We have a birthday girl in the house. Woohoo! Marilyn. Stand up, Marilyn. Aha. There she is. The most youthful person I've ever met, possibly. Just amazing. And I promised her a little kirtan. But before I do, I'm going to sing a birthday song to Marilyn, but it's everybody's birthday. So everybody receive this as though it's sung to you. My brother sang this birthday song to me over on a... Remember we used to have answering machines? That's a long time ago. And I saved it, and I learned it because it touched me so much. And I thought, I'm going to sing this any chance I have to sing it to somebody for their birthday. So Marilyn, this is for you, but everybody please receive it, okay? And if my brother was watching, I'd say, thank you, Timmy. My brother Timmy, Mimit, was how I said Tim when I was 4. Mimit. How do you make Mimit? From Tim to Mimit. So on the day when Marilyn was born, on the day when Marilyn was born, on the day when Marilyn was born, the angels sang, and they blew on their horns, and they danced, and they danced, and they smiled, and they raised up their hands on the day birthday, everybody. And so this is a beautiful kirtan song. It's a Sanskrit sentence or chant, and the words are Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And it means Om is the name of that within me, which is aware of the oneness of all things. Om is the name of that within me, which is aware of the oneness of all things. We're going to do 3 ohms at the end, okay? And I was taught a really good way of doing Om, and it's not, what were we chanting? Yum. It's not yum, but it's Om. So it's kind of in 3 parts. Om. Right. Let's just do 1 Om and we'll go into the song. Om. Now sing it. Om. Try it again. One more time. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Always room for delicious stillness and silence, isn't there? Let's look for more of those opportunities. I need a partner up here. I don't know if there's anybody around that might know a song that I'd like to sing with them. I wonder.
I might know.
Do you know somebody?
I might.
This is Keith. Oh, it's words. Words. So this is kind of like Henry Mancini meets Kirtan. We'll see how it goes. Moon River, wider than a mile, I'm crossing you in style someday. You dream maker, you heartbreaker, wherever you're going, I'm going your way. Two drifters off to see the world. There's such a lot of world to see. We're after the same rainbow's end, waving round the bend. My huckleberry friend, Moon River, and me. Well, my friends. Wow, it's 8:52. We did it. Holy moly! Wait, hold on. I'm just like, are we gonna even possibly end by 9? And well, thank you. So before we do our final song, and everybody that was involved is going to come up and dance with us at this very last song. And I want to, really thank everybody from the bottom of my heart. Shala and Ron and Keith and John and Pam and Tyler. Everybody's, oh, there you go. And Rick and Annie. And who else? Did I forget anybody? Larry. Larry is running the show. Big time. Alexandra, who was my partner in happiness. And Shari, who is running the video for the live stream. So you guys don't know Shari over there and all around the world, but there's a beautiful woman who's been providing all these images for you. So thank you, Shari. And yeah, thank everybody. I also want to thank all the volunteers. Zula was amazing. Oh, pardon me? Nancy. Where's Nancy? Yes. And the summit committee, Tracy and Katie, a lot of people. Just thank you so very, very much. And also, Seal also helped us. And Alan. So thank you, everybody. And thank every single one of you for coming and making part of this, and every one of you for coming and making this such a beautiful, international, virtual ceremony of love. So I wanted to, before our final song, I just wanted to do a little bit of announcements. We have a lot of classes going on here at Unity of Walnut Creek, wonderful classes. And on your way out, I think hopefully at both doors we have something called the Center Point. Only out there? So out there we have sort of our bi-monthly newsletter. And it has all kinds of stuff of what's going on here at Unity. Wonderful, wonderful classes. Reverend Kristen always gives a wonderful expression of what's happening with us as a church during that month. And there's just a lot of it, you know, you can really read about what's happening here. As you might be able to tell, it's a very progressive, very spiritual, very open, and very beautiful community, very heart-centered community. I've been deeply impressed by that. And so I'm personally teaching a class on Tuesday nights. I have 4 more classes. And there's some flyers about the class in that table back there. You're welcome to just drop in. If you want a business card, I don't have one because I'm nobody and everybody. So, but my name and my email address, if you would like to contact me, is on that flyer. And I also want to invite you, if this resonates with anybody, the Sisterhood of the Pink Rose, you can sign up back there. The Sisterhood of the Pink Rose is, I'm going to get a little strange on you here, but Mother Mary came to me when in Peru and asked me to create the Sisterhood of the Pink Rose. I don't know what that is, but if you want to help me find out, there's also a sign-in sheet for that. And we have, you know, as I said, just some wonderful, wonderful classes. And I really would like to introduce you to our head minister, our wonderful minister, who's really holding the high watch here for us, and creating just an incredibly beautiful community of unity and spirituality and oneness and consciousness. And I'm just deeply, deeply honored to have her as my minister. And so I'd like to just invite Kristen up, Reverend Kristen up, to have any kind of comments that you might want to share with us, and then a closing prayer, and then we'll have our final song. So Reverend Kristen, thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Hasn't it been fabulous? Wow, and we have a packed house. This is great. Almost packed. Yeah. So I'm always, never cease to amaze me, Jenny, with your musical talents and your theatrical talents and your embodying of everything and nothing.
That's the most important to me.
Yeah. So I don't feel right standing right in front of you, Keith, so I'm going to scoot over. So yeah, thank you all for coming. It was beautiful. It was sacred. It was fun. It was all the things that you would think a moonlight celebration would be, wasn't it? Yeah. How many of you got to see the morning eclipse? Oh, a good number of you. Wonderful. Well, I'm sure you can. It's not quite the same, but I'm sure you can watch a rendition online. And of course, you can enjoy the actual moon this evening, right? A little bit more. Well, thank you all who participated. I'm impressed that I think you did indeed name everybody, which is always a dangerous direction to go when you start naming names. But if somebody didn't get named, thank you from the bottom of our hearts for your organizational skills, your musical skills, and all of you for coming. So let's close out with a prayer. Loving Spirit, whole spirit of love, embodied by this bright light that is cast over us tonight, that lights our way home. The light of that moon is cast before us on our journey, on our path. It continues to guide our steps as the very spirit of our being and the allness of God guides our steps. And so we have only to look for that next step in front of us in our lives, or to bring forth that healing clarity of light to heal whatever wants to be healed in our lives and the lives around us. We thank you, Spirit, for bringing us this brilliant, bright, beautiful, blue supermoon, full moon, and lunar eclipse, so we can cast our eyes away from our devices into the sky itself, and to allow ourselves to fall in love again with the moon, as has been sung about tonight, to find ourselves in the path of divinity that we are all walking in our own way. Thank you, Spirit, for bringing us together to celebrate, to laugh, to sing, to experience the sacred in all things, most especially within ourselves. And so it is. Amen.
Well, I don't know about all of you, but there's something I like to do when the moon is out full and bright like it is tonight. And so I suggest that we all get on our feet and start that right here and maybe even carry that out onto the patio. So once I get my drummer in place, we're just going to go like 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4. Almost every night when that moon is big and bright, a supernatural light. Everybody's dancing in the moonlight, dancing in the moonlight. Everybody's feeling warm and bright. It's such a fine and natural sight. Everybody's dancing in the moonlight. Out of sight. We don't fuss and they don't fight. They keep things loose, they keep things right. Everyone was dancing in the moonlight, dancing in the moonlight. Everybody's feeling warm and bright. It's such a fine and natural sight. Everybody's dancing in the moonlight. It's hard to dance and stay uptight. It's a supernatural night. Everybody's dancing in the moonlight, dancing in the moonlight. Everybody's feeling warm and bright. It's such a fine and natural sight. Everybody's dancing in the moonlight, dancing in the moonlight. Everybody's feeling warm and bright. It's such a fine and natural sight. Everybody's dancing in the moonlight, dancing in the moonlight. Everybody's feeling warm and bright. It's such a fine and natural sight. Everybody's dancing in the moonlight. Dance in the moonlight, huh?
Good night, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful, beautiful night. A beautiful, come back. Come see us again. Oh, have fun, huh? Oh my God, no. I got here a thing. It was beautiful. Beautiful, are you kidding? Not really. Okay, cool. Thank you, honey. Thank you. Okay, thank you, thank you. Oh. Hi, yes, how are you? Good to see you.